This episode addresses further workflow-related topics and discusses the deferred loading feature and the use of bookmarks to save and optimize your workflow. As you might know, everything in Katana is a reference, and you can decide when to load those assets. This is why it's so quick to open a Katana project. Even if it references large assets, it won't impact your project's opening times. At this point, you're only bringing in nodes and their parameters. This is called deferred loading. A scene containing large sets of geometry that would otherwise be slow to open is completely painless in Katana. In the case of this setup, the geometry is light, even with a sequence of 21 shots. Right now, our GSV is set to the first shot, and if we expand the scene graph, you can see the geometry for this shot, but not the others, so they are not loaded. This is why there is no cost to your system when you work on multiple shots in one scene. On the contrary, it saves you from needing separate projects for each shot with no overhead for keeping all the shots in one project. The view flags helps a lot since it enables you to see the state of your scene at any given point. So if we go down the node graph, you'll see what changes are happening within those nodes. This is really useful if, for example, something's gone wrong in your scene and you have no idea what it is. Set your viewer flag to the DR object settings and drag the Attributes tab to a layout where you can view all those tabs at the same time. We can see how this node is impacting the scene at this location. The L symbol indicates that this attribute is applied locally at that point in the hierarchy. Go down a level in the scene graph. It displays a G symbol, illustrating that it is inheriting this attribute from somewhere further up in the scene graph. When we move the view flag to a previous node, the attribute does not exist at that point. In fact, if you click the L symbol and then select Show Attribute History, you can see the history of that attribute, and Katana locates the node affecting that change. This is really helpful for finding any node impacting any attribute. Hopefully this gives you a better understanding of how dependencies work within Katana. Bookmarks are great tools to facilitate working within scenes. If, let's say, we're going to close Katana, but we want the current setup in the scene graph to remain exactly as it was, then you can create a bookmark. Click on the bookmark icon and select Create Bookmark. A window will appear, and here you can set its name, folder, and what it is you'd like to save. You can save the live render updates column, the render column, the expansion of the scene graph, or the viewer visibility. And untick anything you don't want to keep. When you save, you can then use this bookmark to retrieve the setup. You can also export bookmarks, which will export this setup as an XML file so you can easily send this to others. You can also organize bookmarks. Right-click on a bookmark to delete it. This can save a lot of time when working on projects and prevents you from processing more than necessary. In this case, this scene is small enough to process all the scene graph elements quickly, but if you're working on complex scenes, this is a great feature to use.